Hello there. It is approximately about 5:20 in the morning. Sunday morning. It's okay, no school, you know. It's the weekend, so you can stay up. Besides, it's too hot to sleep, you know. I could turn on the fan, but anyway, I just got done watching Mean Teachers by Booger Boy Meister. I love Booger Boy Meister. He does some of the best videos on YouTube, I think. I think he's one of the coolest people ever, I'd say. I don't know. I really like him, let's say that. And, anyway, it's kind of inspired me to go on with this school thing, you know. I did kindergarten and first grade and all that. Let's go on to second grade, right? Anyway, second grade was one of the first bad years, I'd say. I didn't like second grade too much. The teacher was older. She wasn't very nice. I guess, all those years of teaching really were getting to her, I guess. She didn't like people punching numbers into the calculator with their pencil. She was weird like that, like little things like pet peeves, you know. That's what they call them. I hate when they call them pet peeves, but that's what they call them, pet peeves. Kind of reminds me of something like Pen Pal or something. Like, that was stupid too. What was the point of those? But anyway, I had this teacher who wasn't very nice. I'm very happy I didn't get the other teacher though. That teacher was horrible. I remember seeing her at like the supermarket one time, and I wanted to go up and say something to her, like how mean she was, but I didn't. Anyway, she was horrible, and there was another teacher in second grade, but from what I heard, she was nice for the most part. There wasn't many good second grade teachers, but I had this teacher, and one story I remember, and I told this on my Bad School Times video, but I'll redo this. What you would do is you'd when you have your glue bottles, you'd put them all. She wanted you to put them all in a box, and it makes no sense what she wanted us to do. On like the first day of school, she had us put all our glue bottles in like a box, and when we needed the glue bottles, she would have somebody hand one out to each person. It didn't matter if it wasn't even your bottle, it was somebody else's bottle, and we put our names on it. So by the end of the year, you could have it back, I guess. And, well, the person who was handing them out, I got his bottle, and I was, for some reason, fascinated by that. I don't know. And I was like, hey, Nick, I got your bottle. That was his name. And he was like, and I yelled it pretty loud, so the teacher got mad, and she told me to flip my card. And what that meant was flip it to yellow. What there was yellow was a warning, and then the next one was red, I believe, which was you stay inside for recess, and the next one was purple, which was detention, I believe. And so I had to flip it to, that would be me flipping it to red, so I had to stay in for a recess. And what happened earlier that day, well, I had to flip it to yellow every day. It would go back to green, every day. But I had to flip it to yellow earlier that day because this girl, I don't know, she kicked me under the desk, and she kept kicking me, so I kicked her back, and we both had to turn our cards. That's what happened, and so I'm flipping it to red, and when bad things happened to me back then, I would cry. So I started crying, I guess. And I remember just putting my head down and crying, in my arms. I was just really upset about it. And I remember somebody said, look, JP's crying. And the teacher was like, well, he deserves it. And that just made me cry more. And so I stayed inside for recess, and the student aide there came in, and she was real nice. She talked to me and everything. And you know, I don't know, that wasn't a very good day. And I remember I was wearing like this checkered shirt that day, and I remember I wouldn't wear that shirt afterwards on a Wednesday. I'm an idiot. But, yeah, there was also this, alright, this is with the other teacher. And I'm going to say her name, I might as well just say her name, right? Her name was Miss Collins. Yeah. And if you're watching this, Miss Collins, you were mean. But, anyway, I was talking to my friends in the hallway. You're not supposed to talk in the hallway, you're not supposed to run in the hallway, all that. But, I was young and I wasn't paying attention, and I guess I was talking to my friends. But the thing is, they were talking too, so why do I get this? But anyway, she, out of nowhere, I didn't even see her, she came and she grabbed my arm, and she twisted my arm, and I don't know, it hurt, but she twisted my wrist, like she grabbed it and she went like this to make it hurt more. She did it on purpose. And she took me to the back of the line and she like pushed me into to the back of the line. And she, I don't know what she said, I can't remember, but I was just like, ow, walking like this, you can't touch people like that. But I don't know. There was also another incident at lunch with the same teacher. I know I'm pointing. I need to stop pointing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the pointing. I'll stop pointing. But there was this incident at lunch with the same teacher, and I'm sorry. There's no excuse for this one. All right, you grabbed me by the arm for talking, okay? But I don't know what I was doing here to make you do this. But when I'm talking to people, like right how I am now, I'm using my hands to maybe put some more thought into the words or something. But anyway, back then I would do stuff with my hands and I wouldn't even realize it. But what I was doing, I was talking to my friends, I was fully in this conversation, and I had my straw and I had my wrapper, the wrapper for the straw, and I was wrapping it around the straw. I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was doing that, and the same teacher, Miss Collins, she was walking up and down the rows and looking to make sure there wasn't any trouble. And she came up to me and she snatched the straw out of my hand and she poked it into my carton of chocolate milk. And she was like, "Use it or lose it." And she walked away, and I was like, "What was that about?" To my friends, I was like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand what, was I hurting the straw? I don't know. But second grade was not a good year. Anyway, what else was there? I remember one time at recess, there was this one girl, she always, I called her Little Red Riding Hood for some reason, but she went up the slide, or she went up the ladder to the slide, and this was the tallest slide there. It was, I'd say about 1.5 stories, maybe 2 stories high, this ladder, and my friend was under her, and she ended up falling off the slide. But as she fell, it's like, how at like a fire station, they put their legs around the poles on the side and they slide down. Well, that's pretty much what she was doing, but she didn't mean to. Anyway, this is all I remember. I remember looking up and I remember her screaming, and she fell down in her dress. She was wearing a dress that day. Her dress was flying up, and she just kept falling, and she was screaming at the top of her lungs, and she ended up landing on my friend. Yeah. And I don't know. That was kind of funny though. But I mean, it wasn't funny for her, but I mean I don't know. I mean, I bet she was crapping teeth after a while because she landed right on my friend, Anyway. my friends then, I don't know. I mean, they eventually faded away over time. You know how that goes. You have friends here, and then the next year they don't like you anymore, whatever. Maybe you don't like them, I don't know. But yeah, I remember I saw my friend do something cool. He went down. He went like on the side of the slide, and he went down the slide on the side off the slide, and he jumped down. And I tried to do it too, and I ended up falling off the slide and landing right here on my own forehead. And I remember going like this, and there was all this blood here, and the recess teacher came and grabbed me, and I tried to tell her because I didn't like the nurse's office. I'd never been there before at that time, and I was like, I'm fine, I'm really fine, and the blood was like gushing out of my, like right here, on my forehead, and she was like, no, you're not fine, come on, and I was like, trying to pull away from her, I was like, I'm fine, but, and I went to the nurse's office, and everything was fine, so, my dad had to pick me up that day. He was like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. But, yeah, second grade. Gosh, Miss Collins, what was her problem? She would always come in our classroom and make sure we weren't doing anything while the teacher was away. I don't even think she asked Miss Collins to, watch over her students. She just did it out of her own free will, She would always just poke her head in and be like, one time she actually came in and, like, harassed one of the students, even though he wasn't really doing anything. A mean teacher. We don't need teachers like that, Anyway, I think that's all I can think of for second grade. I'll go ahead and stop the camera though, and we'll go ahead and talk about third grade. See you all later.